It's definitely not beginning to look a lot like Christmas here at my house. I barely got my Halloween stuff put away, but I need a little bit of festive cheer. And today we are going to be replacing some of my Halloween artwork, which yes, I actually do throughout the house. We're going to put away the Halloween artwork, and in this case, replace the Halloween artwork with something Christmas. So I got this diamond painting from Amazon. It was only like $6, and it's going to fit this frame to replace my pumpkin, which I think is absolutely beautiful, but I think this Christmas one is going to be just as beautiful. I'll go ahead and open it up. And here we go. So this is a 30 by 30 painting, and by painting, of course, I mean diamond painting. You use these little, what they call drills, to place on the sticky sheet here. And look at this. It's got so many different colors. I think it's going to be absolutely beautiful. Let's take a closer look. Look how pretty this is. It looks like a stained glass window with lots of vibrant colors. I really like how they have the black lines differentiating each little area, because that's going to help with seeing the image. When we are dealing with a smaller diamond painting like this, sometimes the image gets really blurred and hard to see because you lose a lot of the detail, because the diamonds obviously take up so much room. You can't have infinite amount of color variation, so it really helps you define what you're looking at. You also have the legends on both corners showing which colors correspond to which numbers or symbols on the sheet. So this kit does come with its own accessories. You have the standard green plastic tray. It's got a little wax pad and an applicator, which is very sad. It's a small little pen. It doesn't even have a comfort grip on it. We won't be using that. I have my own set of materials that I have collected for my diamond painting. Makes my life a little bit easier, including this sorting tray with large trays for all of the drills that can hold many more. I have obviously the sorter that lets me put all of them out at once so that I can pull the trays that I need rather than opening up little packages all the time. I have my own applicator pen with special tips. In fact, it actually comes with a number of different tips so that you can add a few at a time. I like to keep 2 different tips on my pen. One that's got the bent tip for easier application, so you're not going straight up and down. You can actually do it from the side. So that's a single applicator. And then I also like to do them by 3s when possible, because I feel like that's the easiest way to pick up a few drills at a time. Once you start getting into the multi-drill placements with up to like 10 drills at a time, I think it's hard to keep them all straight in order and push it down and keep them in order. With 3, you can easily manipulate it in the tray and on the page. And then lastly, I also have my light board, which is a godsend for this, because sometimes your eyes get a little blurry staring at these tiny little numbers, which can sometimes be hard to see, especially when you have different codes that are hard to read. It really helps you differentiate them because it keeps it backlit and it's easy to see through the color and see what the numbers are. All right, let's go ahead and start separating my drills. All right, I think we are ready to begin. Now, I think some people like to apply their drills in rows or in tiny sections. Sometimes I do it by number. I don't have any real rhyme or reason, but I feel like since this is so easily segregated, I'm probably going to do little sections at a time. Only one way to find out. Let's get started.
Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Not only green when summer's here, but also when it's cold and drear. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, thy leaves are so unchanging. Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree, such pleasure do you bring.
And we are finished. This took me just under 8 hours, so I'm pretty proud of that. And I think part of that is how efficient I was using this tray system, because the last time I did it in this size here, I think it took about 10 hours. The ones that are more of a full frame size usually take about 12 hours. So this went together pretty quickly, and I really love the way it turned out. Now, here's a caveat. In the camera, it tends to, I think, blur the picture a little bit more than your eye does. So the camera makes it look a little more distinct than it is in person. It is kind of hard to see, especially when you're up close, what the design even really is. But from far back, you can definitely tell, and then definitely on the screen, you can certainly tell. So it's time to get this framed. I'm going to have to make myself a little bit of room here, but before I do that, so I've got my leftover drills. I've got all these trays full of just a small amount of miscellaneous, and they call these drills, the little beads. There were plenty of extras, so I didn't worry about running out of any of them. But because we have to keep Halloween alive all year long, even when we are dealing with Christmas displays, I'm going to take my Halloween potion bottle that I have been filling up with all of my spare drills and add all of these to them. So even though, like I said, working on Christmas, I'm still working on Halloween all year round too. Eventually, we are going to get this potion bottle filled, and then we will move on to the next. As you can see, it kind of makes a fun, nice little colorful fill for my potion bottle, I guess. And every time I look at it, it reminds me of all of the fun I had putting these things together. Now, they do actually make frames specific for the diamond painting kits, and you can find them on Amazon. I bought those for some of my other prints, but this was the very first one that I did, and I didn't know I could just buy a specific frame. So I found a cheap frame at the at-home store, and then I custom cut the matting. Here's a trick. I take my black Sharpie marker, and then I just color in the edge of the diamonds. So that way, if the mat doesn't exactly fit, you're not going to see that stark white mat showing through around the mat. It will just sort of help it blend all together. There we go. It took just half a second. Now I am going to just put this new picture right on top of the old picture. I'm going to keep them all framed together. That way I don't have to store them separately. I'll just know I've got my Halloween picture right underneath my Christmas picture for next season. I'll take my new mat, stick it right on top. Looks like it is an excellent fit. There's always a little bit of glue that sticks around past the diamond painting portion, and that's going to help this mat sort of stay in place. So once I've got it positioned properly, just going to stick my glass on. It should all stay together. Now you can actually get glue to slather over this that will help keep everything together, but I've never done that. I haven't seemed to have had any problems yet. Not saying that they won't in the future, but keeping my fingers crossed. I won't be too worried if a diamond falls out here or there. I'll just go back to my stash in my jar and find one that looks right, plop it in. And here we go. What do you think? So, I of course like it. I don't like it as much as my pumpkin, but that's because Halloween's a little bit more my thing. But we're going to have fun ways to incorporate Halloween into Christmas this year, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let me know, what do you think of the art? I do think the frame with the mat really does highlight it, showcase it, make it look a little bit more upscale. If I had one criticism to make, I would say I think the beads here, the drills, the diamonds, could sparkle just a little bit more. I mean, we're talking, this is Christmas. Everything needs to have real shiny sparkle to it. That's what makes it very festive. And this almost feels a little muted, a little bit lackluster. So I'm a little disappointed in that aspect. But for, you know, the price of this thing and all the hours of entertainment you get, I'm not going to complain too much. I'm still going to hang it up on my wall, and we're going to love it for the holiday season. But I do have a lot more stuff to show you coming up. Again, mixing that Halloween into Christmas this year. I can't wait to show it to you, so stay tuned for that. Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining my Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. And that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, take care, and happy holidays.
Oh, Christmas tree, you'll ever be unchanged.